Hello, everybody, and welcome back to BrokeN Boys. It's episode 207. I am Mike,
I am Colin.
and yeah, it's a lovely day. It won't be when this episode is posted, but 3 days ago it was a lovely day, love in the air, Valentine's Day.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, we're gonna talk about things not related to that. I don't know. Maybe if we maybe if we run or needs to fill some time, we could do like I don't know, sex positions bracket or something. But
Just from memory.
yeah, just from experience, you know. But but before we get to that, Colin, how was your week?
Week was great. It was okay. Just pretty much the same old. Nothing too exciting. Um, had that one nice snowy day a
Mhm.
couple days ago. Very very snowy. Um, and people, instead of just going through the drive-through, that wasn't too busy all throughout the day. We had a lot of people just going to curbside and asking for the food to be brought out to them rather than them going through the drive-through and just having it handed through the window.
Yeah.
So a lot of the day it was a bunch of us just walking out in the snow, almost slipping and falling every time. And it's like one of my manager went to take out one of them, and they were like, "I'm sorry to have you come out here." I was like, "Why did you then?"
Mm.
Like, what the fuck?
Convenience.
It would have been more convenient for everyone to go through the drive-through, but whatever.
Yeah.
It was fun. Nothing too crazy at work. Didn't do a whole lot more man or trainer training. Um, just like I had like one more day of videos over the weekend, but that was about it. Um, I did get Employee of the Month though for
Oh
January.
shit.
Yeah, Employee of the Year, then Employee of the Month.
Oh, did
I'm,
you talk about getting
I'm
Employee of the Year? I feel like I don't remember
I
that for
think
some reason.
it was at the holiday party. They did like awards.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, yeah. Never mind. I do remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, the one for the end of the year was voted by people that I work with, and
Hmm.
the employee of the month was just selected by the managers. So
Oh,
I'm just that guy.
you are. Oh my God, you are really that guy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh my god.
Do
Um.
do you get a nice little picture on the wall?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Uh. No, I got a pin this time. I got a pin
Oh, okay.
and a shirt, a neon green shirt with the McDonald's logo and the name of the
Hell yeah.
people that own these McDonald's around here.
You're not truly
Um,
a McDonald's employee of the month if you don't wear that around every day you're not working. So,
I have been wearing it nonstop every single day, even
yes.
under the work shirt that I have to wear. So,
Yeah.
but that was like, I was like, I don't know, it's very nice, but I feel like there's a lot of other people that do their job a lot better than me. So,
Mm,
whatever. Still a nice thing.
yeah.
Um, my um, my Imaginal disc vinyl finally came in
Nice.
a couple days ago after Max ordered it for me for Christmas in early December with fast shipping, and it just came in on February like 12th. Uh,
Mm. Fast.
but just super fast,
Hmm.
and I'm glad to have it. It's a nice like smoky blue kind of pressing.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, it's very nice. I love it. Um, but I started watching this show called The Pit on Max. Um, it's like a hospital drama kind of show. But like every episode is just an hour of a shift in a workday for medical professionals,
Hmm.
um, which is interesting because it's just like crazy the amount of stuff that happens and can happen in an hour in emergency room.
Like
Uh,
it's like real footage and stuff, not like fictional.
no, it's fictional, but it's
Oh,
like
okay.
it's all like possible stuff that could be happening within an
Gotcha.
hour of a fucking medical personnel's fucking shift, which is like, damn, that's crazy. It takes place in Pittsburgh. It's got
Ah,
pretty good acting.
I get the name of the show now.
Yes,
Yeah.
but um, but it's also called the Pit because the emergency room is in the bottom of a big old hospital, and they call it the Pit. So,
Wow.
but it's good. It's very
Layers.
good. Yes, I watched the first episode on my own, and then Max came back from work, and we just like I wasn't expecting her to like it at all, so I kept watching it, but she caught on and was like super enveloped in it.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, there's I've watched all of the episodes that are available right now because they're still coming out, and I thought that like oh it's gonna be like eight to 10 episodes or something, but it's gonna be like 15. So I got that
Nice.
going for the next good few weeks here, which will be nice. Good show. Recommend it. I think John sent me a TikTok of it when it was first coming out and was like, I recommend this,
Hmm.
but I didn't. I never started watching it, so I'll have
Makes
to see if
sense.
he kept on with
I meant makes sense for John to show you, not that you wouldn't watch it. It was poor timing on my part.
it. And then last night I started watching the movie Malcolm X, which is a biography of a biopic of Malcolm X,
Mhm.
um, directed by Spike Lee, which is a very iconic director.
Yes, yes.
Um,
Tyler the Creator
and
had some choice words for him in one song.
yeah, um, but I didn't get through it all the way because I started watching it at like 11 last night, and it's like a 3.5 hour movie. So
Woo!
you're like an hour or 20 minutes in, and it's good. It hasn't gotten to his like any of his political activism yet, but he just got into being a Muslim, so
Hmm.
getting there. But good so far. Denzel Washington's fantastic, of course.
That's right. Yeah.
Um, but that's good. I uh, I've been listening to more Smosh Reddit stories while playing games. Just like I don't know, there's something about them that's just super entertaining.
Yeah.
Um, and Shane is a very good a narrator. Uh,
He's a good Reddit reader.
yeah. um, but yeah, that's been good. And then I listened to a couple things this week as well. I listened to Eusexua by FKA Twigs,
Nice.
and I listened to Alligator Bites Never Heal by Dochi
Ooh.
finally. Um,
He went woke
which
this week. Sorry.
I went woke, yes.
Yeah.
Uh, but both both good albums. The FKA Twigs one, I was not expecting the sound that it went with. I've
Yeah.
never listened to FKA Twigs before, but at the beginning I was like, this just feels like it feels like a different. When it first started, I was like, it's reminiscent of like Magdalena Bay to me a little bit, just
Hmm.
like like the synthy pop kind of stuff. But then it got weirder as it went on, and it was good. I liked a vast majority of it. It was interesting. I'll have to re-listen. I'll have to listen to it again, but I did enjoy most of it. There were a couple key tracks off there that I was liking, and then
Yeah.
Alligator Bites Never Heal. Very deserving of its award that it got, and Dochi is a goat in the making. I think
Hmm.
she's very 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 talented, and I really 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 enjoyed like all of the album. I didn't feel like there were any real low points at all. And obviously there are a lot of like bangers on there that got big, like Denial is a River um and Boiled Peanuts
Hmm.
and but it was very good. I enjoyed it a lot. I'm very interested to see what else comes from Doji, but I'm glad that I finally checked that whole thing out rather than just a couple tracks.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I mean those are both great albums. I just wanted to say that yeah, Eusexual I think is one that for me has gotten better on like every listen that I've done to it. Like you just I don't know, something about the atmosphere of it is very alluring to me. So I would recommend doing re-listens on that one as well. Um,
Yeah.
and then Bites is yeah, it's great. But the thing about Alligator Bites is that I think it's even clearer, or I think it's clear that Dochi even has a lot more in her that she's
Oh yeah.
getting even better with. So it's like it's a great like potential record. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it shows what she's going to be capable of
Right.
as she keeps going. It's just really well done. Um, but the also Nissan Altima and
Oh yeah.
Algar by good. I like that track a lot too. Um, but yeah, once I got to Skinny on Eusexua, like it was like
Mm.
I liked the melody on it a lot. Or not Skinny, it was Sticky.
Oh
Um,
yeah. I was gonna say I'm trying to remember. Yeah, yeah. Sticky. Yeah, yeah.
Sticky. I thought it was an interesting cover of Tyler's version, but
Yeah, yeah.
um, but no, I liked the like the hook on it and the like the how the just the main kind of vocal melodies and everything. Like I liked it a lot, and then I started getting weird with all like the weird production
Yeah.
and stuff. So and that got me very interested. Um,
That was kind of the first track that like really clicked for me as well. So
yeah,
it's a great one on the record. Yeah.
yeah, but both really good albums. I'd recommend them both, of course. But yeah, I mean that's basically it. Me and Max went out to eat for lunch for Valentine's Day, and then we went grocery shopping. We did a little perusing at the record store and the comic book shop as well.
Nice.
Um, I was gonna get GNX, but I walked up and I was like, "Do you guys have any more of these?" And he was like, "I just sold out of them this morning." I was like,
Damn.
"Damn." But you know, he said they'd call me when they get new ones, so I'll
There
go
you go.
get that then. But yeah, it was a good Valentine's Day, good week. Nothing too eventful, but how was your week, Mike?
Not really too much happened this week. But it was fine. I suppose. Um, uh, one of the first things that happened this week, and you already kind of know about this because I was texting you guys. But I think it was last Friday night. Shout out Katy Perry. When at dinner, I was just about to go put my stuff away, and my mom was like, "So what do you know of Dochi?" And I was like, what do you know of Dochi? She, because my mom, obviously love my mom, but she is very much like, you know, in some ways like stereotypical like suburban white mom in a lot of ways, but not the racist kind. Like on the right side of history, you know. But like
Yeah.
it's still suburban white mom. So when she brought up Dochi, I was like, "What the hell? What do you
What
know
the
about?"
what?
Yeah, and she was like, "Yeah, I was listening to a podcast. She likes listening to a podcast that Trevor Noah hosts, and he was
Wow.
talking about his you know time at the Grammys that had happened the week before, and he was like. Or yeah, he talked a lot about Dochi, I guess, and her performance and how deserving her speech was and how powerful her speech was and all that. And it got my mom interested enough to listen to I don't know what she listened to at first, and she might have just like started Alligator Bites maybe, um
Uh-huh.
but she was like, yeah, I mean it's hip hop, it's not completely for me, but I like, I like her experience, I like the way she tells stories, and like I like that I can understand her when she's rapping. I was like, okay, that's cool. Um, we talked just like a little bit about it. I was like, yeah, I started listening to her like a couple months ago after her Tiny Desk, and I kind of explained what Tiny Desk was to her.
Yeah.
Basically, just said modern day MTV Unplugged. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty much. But I sent her that Tiny Desk because I still think that's one of my favorite things I've seen from Dochi. And And yeah, she listened to all that. She was like, "Yeah, I liked most of that." And I'm like, "All right." I think I sent the text to you guys saying my mom has now heard lyrics about anal beads and purple cunt and has given a positive review. It was just that was crazy to me. I was like, okay, and she's talked about her a few times throughout the week. It's like, I mean, it's really just like I think she's proud of herself for enjoying some things that are hip hop, which
Yeah.
sure, that's fine. But yeah, that was the thing that happened. And then well, I'm guessing we'll get into it after we do our week things. But after the Super Bowl performance, she was like, "I still like my Dochi." I was like, "Okay, that's fine."
But
But
it's sit her down with we cry together.
yeah, yeah, that'll convince her. I have thought of like sending her tracks like like how much a dollar costs or something like that because I think that's a better introduction for on her end or something. But you know,
Think about him dying of thirst. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Eat the
I think
grams.
yeah, I think Meet the Grams is the perfect way. Or uncensored, not like us. I'm sure she'll love that one.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that was probably the most interesting thing to happen this week. I just thought that was so funny. And then like you guys were making jokes too. Like John was saying to like have her listen to like hip hop classics or whatever. Or was it you who said like have her listen to "Scaring the Hose"?
Yeah.
And then I put in quotes. So what do you think of Danny Brown? uh, it's so funny. But yeah, that happened. Watched the first half of the Super Bowl on a Sunday. With the family, we made some food and stuff. Well, my mom made some food. But we had what did we have? We made some pizzas and we had some like grilled chicken. Um, like kind of like that we sold at the deli, like that kind of grilled chicken. Um, and we had oh, we had chocolate covered strawberries that we made. We'd never done that before, but my mom saw like a kit at like a farmer's market that she was at earlier in the day. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, just you had to keep melting it and keep trying to mix it in, like 30-second increments and stuff. But then like they turned out like amazing. Like the chocolate hardened away that was like perfect. Like it felt like we were getting them from a store or something. Um, and
Awesome.
that was delicious. And then we didn't end up doing it that night because we were all full. But then the night afterwards, we did a little buffalo chicken dip, which was delicious, very good. Um, but yeah, that's kind of really most notable things throughout the week. I mean, I started playing a new game called Control.
Yeah.
It's have you played that before?
I haven't played a lot of it. I think I played like the first little bit of it and I got confused and then I
Mm.
just like went on to other games, but I've heard very good things and I've been tempted to go back to it.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I'm not gonna pretend like I know what the hell's going on, but I still think it's fun so far. I've only played a little bit, but yeah, it's one that it was like free on Epic Games like a long time ago, and I got it
Mhm.
then. And then I was like, well, I started trying to play another game this week, which was one of the Metro games. It was a Metro Exodus.
Okay.
And I tried playing a Metro game a few years ago too, and I didn't get super into it. And then this one, I also was not getting super into it. But I got it for like $3, so
Yeah.
that's but so I was like, yeah, I'm not really into this, and I was like, oh, I'll try that Control game finally, and yeah, it's pretty cool. Definitely reminds me a lot of I played Alan Wake when I was young on the Xbox.
Mhm.
Has very similar vibes to that. But yeah, yeah, pretty cool so far. Um, and yeah, got denied from that job I talked about last
Uh,
week. Unfortunately, um, I was getting my hopes up for that a bit, so that's a little bit of a blow. But shit happens.
Fuck you, Microsoft. Yeah.
Fucking Microsoft, you said?
Fuck you. Yeah. Fuck you, Microsoft.
Oh yes, yeah, yeah. Composer from Microsoft. But yeah, I'm home alone right now. And then will be for the next couple days, but not by the time the podcast comes out. So you fuckers can't do anything to me. Um, but it's just me and Riley on Valentine's Day. Um,
Um,
uh,
nice candlelit dinner planned.
mm-hmm. Well, I might make a lap upstairs, like put a blanket on and some plastic bags, and maybe he'll lay on me, but probably not. But we'll see. He's that cat never does what you want him to do, so love him, but he's predictably unpredictable. Um,
Yeah,
but
movie cat.
yeah, yep. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I listened to for my little most reviewed albums and album of the year. I listened to the new album from Squid called Cowards. And I've listened to a couple Squid or the other Squid records a couple times. They came up at the same time in the same like venue as like Black Midi and Black Country New Road.
Mhm.
So a lot of people are lump them into that same space. I personally don't think they're as good, but they still got a vibe to them that's pretty interesting. And the new album called Cowards, it was fine. It was probably my least favorite from them so far, but there were some really good songs on there though that I do want to return to. But wasn't anything mind blowing, but it was good. But yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say about that. um, and yeah, that's all I did for my week. I don't really think there's anything else to highlight. I guess I got Magdalena Bay vinyl as well,
Mhm.
and also blue, so blue vinyl. Yeah. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that's about
Nice
it.
low key. Nothing too
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. Still music stuff too, but
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes,
My
yes.
my grandma used to say, well, at least my dad says my grandma used to say that there's a lot to say for dull and boring. So, and, just means that it's good that things are dull and boring because sometimes when things get exciting, they can be bad things. So,
Yeah, that's fair. I think in my current state, boring is not that great.
yeah, that's
if I were making money, boring would be fine.
yeah,
But
yeah,
there definitely is sentiment to that, though, for sure. Thinking broadly, I am privileged to be able to be doing nothing, so there is
yeah.
something to say about that. But yeah, in some weekly news. I mean, just music news, I guess.
Mhm.
Um, I guess just real quick before the big one, we got a new track from Clipping for their album coming out in next month, I think. It was called Welcome Home Warrior, and it's featuring Aesop Rock.
Ah,
Not Rocky, but still, I think I don't know much about Aesop Rock, but I do know he's like a very big figure in the hip hop scene. So that's a pretty cool thing to have on a clipping track. And
yeah.
it's cool. It's continuing like that kind of dark dancey vibe that they've been doing. Has a I I was kind of looking into the lyrics. It kind of has a little bit of a video game flair to it, but not in a cringe way. Um, and the sound kind of reminded me a bit of Splendor and Misery, just in terms of like
Hmm,
the type of production, um, which is cool. Um,
cool.
but yeah, still looking forward to that album. I think I think they have 4 singles out now, and I think it's safe to say this won't be like my favorite clipping album, but I think they're all like really quality and interesting stuff that they're doing right now. So that's
Yeah,
cool. And then
yeah,
there was a little double um, song release. I'm not sure if you saw from Rex Orange County and Daniel
yeah,
Caesar today. Did you
yep,
listen to it?
yeah. I did
What'd you think? What'd you think?
mid.
I agree. I on album of the year, it had like such a high score. Like
Really?
it had like 100 ratings and like an 87 or something. And I was like, what the hell? And like it was fine. It was pleasant, but it wasn't really anything too notable. Like I kind of expected a little bit more from a combination of those two, but it was just like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. Like, like the first song I was more into because the second song's like a minute long, or at least it felt short.
Yeah,
Um, and it was just like it was fine, but it's nothing groundbreaking. And Daniel Caesar's voice is super good,
yeah,
and I was expecting like more from that combo, like you said.
yeah.
So it's just kind of. I don't know. Overall, it was just mid, and just like a little surprise drop. It was like cool, but could have
Yeah,
been something nicer.
bit lackluster for sure. But
Hmm.
yeah, I'm I'm glad I don't feel insane having that opinion now. I was like, what am I missing here? What am I missing? Okay, but I think that's all I have for like releases. And well, I mean, Drake released an album, and I think I'm gonna have to listen to that on Monday because
Oh
it's looking like that's gonna have the most scores by far. So
boy!
looking
Oh
forward
boy!
to an hour and 15 minutes of
Oh
Drake and
god!
Party Next Door. So
Jesus. Uh, well, I didn't listen to it, but Lucy Dacus
mm,
released another single from her album.
yes,
Uh, did you listen to that?
I have not, but I did see that happen, and I forgot to listen to it. But
Me too.
yeah,
Uh, but I am excited for that project to come out when it does. Um, and then the only other music thing I have written down, other than the big one, is the fact that Kanye's finally getting some repercussions. It seems. Um, I know that like when he had his first meltdown, well,
you're gonna
one,
have to be more
well,
specific.
yeah, like a few years ago when he really started going down the Nazi alt right
Yeah,
pipeline. When he got some repercussions and punishments and stuff, but nothing too you know nothing that like stuck. And I don't think anything's gonna stick now either. But he did release a shirt with just a straight up swastika on it on his website.
and he
um
advertised at the Super Bowl too.
yes, he
Yeah,
also advertised at the Super Bowl. And then uh with an ad that was shot on his iPhone at the dentist or whatever. And then his talent agent dropped him, uh, which kind of surprising that it took that long and
mm-hmm.
that many things, because he's been very open about uh, the things that he supports and the people that he likes. So it's just weird to see that it's only taking effects now.
Yep.
Um, kind of shows you what the talent agency uh, that he was a part of
Prioritizes. Yeah.
prioritizes. Um, but yeah, I don't see any of it holding true or anything. But at least the shirt's sold out, so you'll have a lot of people walking around and uh, Kanye branded swastika shirts.
You don't
And
understand, man. It's a Kanye shirt. It's a Kanye shirt.
if you still support that man, you need to grow up
Yeah.
and actually look at the things that you're supporting.
I've been seeing.
Unless you're,
I'm sorry. Continue.
no, I was gonna say, unless you're straight up Nazi, in which case you can die. But
Yeah, you can enjoy Kanye, I guess, if you're a Nazi. I don't care. But I have seen a lot of Kanye fans turning, on him as well.
yeah,
Um, whether I mean, I'm mostly seeing it on Reddit, so whether that's just Reddit people or whatever. Once again, I don't know why this wasn't happening when he first did this shit a couple
right.
years ago, because not really much has changed in terms of what he's saying. Um, like he was saying all the shit back then too,
Mhm.
but I guess back then it was an edgy bit. And
Mhm.
I still think Kanye thinks it's an edgy bit, but
Yeah.
it's fucking embarrassing for sure, and deserving of repercussions. But yeah, and also there was some news this week that or I think today I was seeing that he and his wife are splitting. So, um, she
No.
did a little public streaking at the Grammys, and then I guess that was it for them. Or maybe it was the Nazi stuff this time. I don't know. Um,
Maybe.
but then again, I think she
Um,
married him after the first Nazi stuff. So, you know.
yeah. I also think that I've seen a lot of it. The things that she's worn and the stunts that she's pulled have been him making her do that stuff.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I
um,
think that's speculation. I imagine.
um,
I mean, I don't know anything about her because she seems personalityless every time I see her.
yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if that was a mutual thing in some ways. But I also wouldn't be surprised if it was a form of abuse in some ways. So
Oh yeah,
it's kind of hard to tell.
yeah.
There were a lot
Um,
of funny memes I was seeing of Bianca packing up to leave Kanye's house, and it was like just a thong and like some duct tape in like a suitcase.
that's funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Fuck Kanye,
Yes.
um, and then the big thing, Kendrick Lamar halftime show at the 59th
Yes.
Super Bowl. I watched the whole Super Bowl just like in the background, kind of, and it was. I was happy to see the Chiefs lose, even though I don't watch football. I just, Travis Kelsey and Patrick Mahomes. I don't like either of those people, so
Yeah.
I'm happy to see them lose and be sad the entire time on the field. Um, it was also just very funny when they would pan to the Chiefs bench and everyone just looked like they had been in the Vietnam War. Uh,
Yeah.
it was very funny, but the main thing that everyone tuned in for was the halftime show, and it was very good.
Yeah.
I I've watched it a couple times since, and it's grown on me more since the main broadcast of it. Um, but there are things that I feel like I would have liked to see more, but I understand that it was just more of like a victory lap, like the end of a victory lap kind of thing, and a promotion for GNX and everything, as well as having good social and political commentary that just flew over the heads of racists and Republicans who just don't understand. Um, but I liked it. But what did you think?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of talked about it a bit, but I will say it's slightly grown on me as well. Um, Part of my initial experience with it was hindered a bit by just the audio mixing on the
Yeah,
live feed was like really bad. Like I couldn't really hear Kendrick like at all. Um, and apparently that I don't even know what would happen to be like this, but apparently there were some people who couldn't hear Kendrick, and then there were some people who could only hear Kendrick and could not hear any
really.
instrumentals and stuff. So I don't know what was going on there, but the video that they uploaded to YouTube, he's mixed a lot better in. Um, but I think the show was good. Actually, I would say the show is good. I'll put it that way with that vocal inflection. Um, but, um, but the thing is, with like Kendrick, I guess I was expecting something like historical almost, and not just like
Mhm.
in terms of like the content he was doing, but just like a Super Bowl that will go down in history, or Super Bowl halftime show that will go down in history. And I feel like I don't know. Maybe that's too much expectations to put on a person, but I feel like and I said this in a text, I feel like he could have gone for something truly like amazing, but the show is just like, yeah, it's good. And like you were saying, it has good commentary. I think the whole Samuel L. Jackson as Uncle Sam was genius. I
Mhm.
loved that inclusion.
Yeah.
Um, and there were some songs that went really well too, like I think the last chunk with Not Like Us and the TV Off went well. I liked Humble and DNA a lot in there.
Mhm.
I guess for me, I just wish it was a little less GNX focused. Like I get it, but at the same time, I think there's a lot more that could have been said with some other songs. I also think in general, I wish, it's all great having subtle political commentary that goes over the heads of conservatives and all that. I think it's also good to have some that's a little over too. um,
Yeah.
um, but I also I wish there were more striking visuals too, because that's usually something that Kendrick has in a lot of his like Grammys performances and AMAs performances and stuff like that. But there was some great stuff in there, like the American flag being made up by black people, which
Mhm.
I think is an amazing message. And that looked really really great, and was a striking visual. And I guess I just wish there was a little bit more of that. Sorry, what's up?
Yeah, and also the American flag being divided
Yes.
for a part of that too was very subtle, but
Mm,
obvious. Um, yeah, I agree. There could have been better, more striking visuals, but I did enjoy there were some callbacks and cool stuff. All the background dancers were super cool. There were a lot of like lamp posts out
Yeah.
just across the field, and there were people on top of those. It was kind of like an homage to All Right.
Hmm.
Um, and I liked. There was a lot more like video game fucking visuals and homages as well that I wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
Um, at least we know Kendrick's a PlayStation guy.
Hmm.
It's,
Got taste.
yes, but yeah, I don't know. I do think that he could have played more of his hits and more of his big things, and done more stuff um, as to be more overt of his messaging and everything. Like you and John were talking about if he played like Triple X.
Yeah, at least that beginning part, I think that would have gone so hard. Of
Yeah,
XXX.
yeah, and uh, I understand him not playing all right because he did do it at the Super
Yeah.
Bowl with all the other hip hop and R&B people. Um, but he could have played like backseat um, or literally anything off of T-Pab or Matt Good Kid because
Hmm.
he played nothing off of either of those things. Which getting those not getting those in place of like man of the garden, whatever it's called.
Hmm.
um which, like, man of the garden, good song, but not Super Bowl halftime show kind of worthy, I don't think.
Yeah, I think there was
And
I think there was a couple songs off GNX that just didn't really translate well to that setting as well.
yeah,
Like even something like Squabble Up. Like I love that song. I think it's a great song, but I don't know. It felt like the energy wasn't quite there for the performance for some reason. I don't know.
yeah, I don't know. But the one that did surprise me off of GNX that I really liked was Peekaboo. Because
Yeah.
I was never like huge on that song when it first released, but that and along with a couple others have grown on me since it's been out. And that one I was like, oh really? But all the visuals and stuff within the X and like the dancers and the camera work, I thought that worked super well.
Yeah.
Um, and like you were saying with all the Sam Jackson stuff, just like brilliant, genius kind of stuff. Um, just a lot of love for the Black community and the history and the work that the Black community has put into America and everything. And just like trying to get just all the messaging with Uncle Sam and like trying to get Kendrick to be more, good for the white folk and, and like
Yeah.
trying to get him to fit more in and to play the lighter stuff like Luther and all the stars, which were both also good. I think
Yeah.
SZA. um I do think the Luther stuff was lip synced. That's that
Yeah.
but all the stars didn't seem to be, because there were like vocal stuff that I don't remember being in that song that she sang. um but Luther being lip synced, I was like, really? Why? Like, that stuff was like obvious, like straight from the track kind of stuff, and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Um, but like the big stuff, like Not Like Us. That was crazy. I was talking to my dad before um, the halftime show and everything, and I was like, "Do you think he's gonna kill Drake live on TV?" And he's like, "No, I don't think he'll be able to play that song." And then it started, and I was like, "Told you."
Yeah.
I know.
I
um,
liked how he teased it too. It was fun.
yeah, I've been seeing like my For You page has been like nothing but the halftime show pretty much for the last week, and
Yeah.
it's been good though. I've been like liking to see like edits and the art that's come out of it. It's very good. Um, but like also Kendrick was just like a cutie patootie throughout the whole thing. Like
Yeah.
his that whenever he smiles, he's got a great little cute cutie patootie smile that like shows when showed on his face. And
Yeah.
um,
As seen
also
in your
saying
profile picture. Yeah.
yes, also saying Drake's name and looking straight into the camera, like, oof,
Yeah.
buddy,
Say
that
Drake.
man's dead.
Yeah.
Say Drake. And then the whole football stadium saying A minor was insane
Hmm.
as well. But But overall, while I think there are things that could have been done to improve it a little bit, and I wish that it wasn't just so GNX forward. I do think that it's great for what it is, and I think Kendrick was a great choice. I love him, and I think he did great. Um, he was also it's also like the most viewed Super Bowl halftime show
Mm-hmm.
ever, which
I think
is
so. Yeah.
which is crazy. And I love that, especially seeing how mad people were getting on like right wing news networks and stuff. Just about like I couldn't understand him. Who is this guy? Well, why is he so short and black? But it's
Yeah.
just yeah, good. I'm glad that it happened. Just could have been a little bit different, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it's also important to note that this was not a show for us. Like
Right.
it's absolutely a show for, Black culture and a lot of, bringing LA to LA, or I'm just forgetting how that lyric goes now. The etiquette of LA to, I don't know, to New Orleans, whatever the hell he says. Um, it's a lot of love for the culture and all that kind of stuff, and it's like,
Yeah.
we're outside viewers of that, so it's not necessarily for us in that
Right.
regard. So I think that's also important to acknowledge. But
Yeah.
it is a good show, and I liked it. I guess expected slightly more from Kendrick, even though it's still a good show and probably one of the
Yeah.
better ones. So,
Yeah.
you know,
It's just it's crazy it's not surprising, but it's just like all the racism and stuff
yeah,
after the show. It's like, come on, guys.
I will say, I mean, I definitely don't want to defend racists here, but when people are saying they can't understand what he was saying, I do think that should be given some benefit of the doubt because I couldn't understand what he was saying either with that live mixing on the TV. So I do want to say that for that point, for only that point. um,
I mean, if people are having like technical issues and like the mixing wasn't great, that's I understand. On my end, it wasn't too bad. He was a little quiet, but I could understand him, and I also know the music, so I didn't
right.
have a problem understanding it as either. Um, as maybe as bad, but I think some people might be due to technical issues and stuff, but I think a lot of it is just actual racism and just like
It
that
could be.
whole I can't understand these rappers, they're not actually speaking. Um, but like Kendrick Lamar is like one of the most fucking eloquently spoken artists who
Yeah.
in the hip hop world. So it's like
Yeah. That's
he
why.
was fucking
I'm sorry.
traversing a whole football field and singing fluently. So it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know, guys.
That's also part of the reason why I was debating maybe sending my mom some, a song like "How Much a Dollar Costs" because I think that is something
Yeah,
that shows off that lyrical capability in a way that's I don't know if accessible is the right. I would say like accessible to us at least, because that was one of the
yeah,
first lyrical songs I understood from him too. So there definitely is a level of that cultural understanding that needs to be had with a lot of Kendrick's stuff. But yeah,
yeah.
yeah, good show.
But jolly good show.
Jolly good show. Yeah,
But yeah, otherwise the Super Bowl in general, I'm not a football guy, but it seemed like it was a pretty bad game, and
yeah,
I've heard people say that same sentiment. Just the Chiefs got destroyed in the first half, and then they made up like 20 points in the second, but it was like just like from outsider's standpoint, the playing of the actual game just felt sloppy to me for it being like the grandest stage of football
yeah,
and everything. But I'm not a football guy, so I don't know.
yeah.
Um,
Commercials kind of suck too. I don't really remember any of
yeah,
them. I remember
um,
the Snoop Dogg one of him saying, "Just we need to end hate," which is comes a couple weeks after he was at the Trump inauguration. So that's
yeah.
awesome.
He
Um,
performed at the Trump inauguration, and he was on a commercial while standing up against hate with a Trump supporter, Tom Brady. So,
oh, I didn't know about that part.
yeah,
Wow,
um,
that
just
really
super cool.
That really puts into question the message of that commercial. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the only commercial that I remember is, and not because I watched it, but just because I caught it out the side of my eye, was a dude was born with a cowboy hat made of skin on his
Oh
head.
yeah, that was like a
Um,
Tubi commercial. That shit looked. I don't. That made me uncomfortable. That whole commercial.
yeah. Mm. Um, but yeah, overall, just like the commercials were pretty fucking ass. But in other news, the Duolingo bird was shot dead.
What the fuck?
It wasn't shot dead, but the Duolingo made like a tweet and a bunch of social media posts that the Duolingo bird is dead.
Wow.
Um, and they had a funeral for him.
Fucking
But
rip.
it's sad. I don't know what they're gonna do for advertising anymore because Duo
Yeah.
uh, gone too soon. Um, Uh, and then more politic stuff. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. got confirmed to
Yes.
be
Sorry.
I got confirmed to be the head of the health organization or something. HHA, I think, is what the organization or the department is. But that's great. Love that. Um,
Yep.
uh, Linda McMahon, the wife or ex-wife of Vince McMahon, the creator of WWE, is the head of board of education,
What the
I
fuck?
think, or something. Yeah, I don't know. But she brought Triple H and her kids there to be in the audience or something. Um, and then was like somebody in the audience yelled wrestling jokes at them and was escorted out, I think, which is kind of funny. But and then the bigger thing, one of the other, also the Gulf of Mexico on Google Maps and Apple Maps has been changed to the Gulf of America.
Yep. Which translates over into GeoGuessr for me. So I got to see that shit now.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that's legal. Like, is that?
Uh,
Does it,
I mean, in terms of Trump renaming that, I feel like there's. I mean, I don't see the thing about this shit is like I don't know if any of it's technically illegal. It's just all petty and stupid as fuck, and like
yeah,
nothing that nobody wants. And also a smokescreen for the rest of the shit he's doing too.
yeah,
But you know, people were talking about it, and it's like um this does happen all the time in Google Maps stuff, like when a country officially renames something, that's how it gets renamed. Or in like the cases outside of everywhere else in America, it still says Gulf of Mexico in quotations Gulf of America right next to it. But it doesn't do that in the US because that's what we know it as. And I think I even saw in Mexico it's still called the Gulf of Mexico, which based, I guess. Um, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not sure if any of it's like illegal, but it's all just stupid as fuck and like should not
yeah.
be happening.
No. Um,
Which can
there's
also
also
just sum
been
up the Trump administration in general. Anyways,
that is
um,
true, very true. There's also been legislation written up to officially change the name of Greenland to Red, White, and Blueland.
what the
Um,
fuck?
yeah, I don't fucking know. I don't understand why Trump thinks that he's going to be able to buy Greenland from Denmark, even though they've been very adamant about the fact that you're not getting Greenland. That's our place. um,
Yeah,
Also, he really wants Canada to be the 51st state. And he's been talking about how they'd have to pay way less in taxes. They would have way better health care and education when they have free health care and would be paying more in taxes, and their education would be worse. And just I don't. It's just a joke.
it's
But
a joke, but it's real. It's like
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Um, he's also, I mean, and then President Elon Musk has been
mm,
very prominent in the news this week. He did a press conference in the Oval Office with Trump there, just sitting in his cuck chair, as people have been putting it, as Elon was talking to the news networks with his son X, just like toddling around, picking his nose, rubbing it on the presidential desk, and telling Trump to shush his mouth and that he's not the president, um, which is like funny, but
Yeah.
you know what the fuck.
Yeah, remember when
But
there was so much scrutiny about Obama being from Hawaii or something, so therefore not American or some shit like that?
yeah,
Yeah.
well, no, they said he was from Africa, I
Oh
think,
yeah, that's right.
and wasn't American and should not be president.
Yeah, know who else is from Africa and is basically the current sitting president right now?
Mhm. uh, Elon Musk.
Yep.
He had a whole press conference talking about what Doge is doing and how it's like a good thing. And um, while they were talking about that, and throughout the week, they've been cutting funding to things, firing more people, and through grants and everything, Elon Musk is making $8 million a day from the government for his own doing
That's
and
awesome.
for his own stuff, while U.S. aid is being dismantled, and
Hey,
they want to take money away from Social Security, and free lunches for kids, and help for veterans and the sick and everything. Just terrible, terrible shit. And why the fuck is this man that nobody fucking voted for, who who has not been elected, who has not been confirmed, why does he have access to all this shit? Why is he being allowed to do all this? What is going on? Why? Like, I'm just wondering how long it's going to be before Trump's feelings are too hurt and he's going to try to kick Elon out. um because that's what happens with everybody, and it happened in the first term with Trump's appointees and everything. He gets pissed off with them, and then he fires them, and then new people are put in their place, like nothing ever happened.
I just
um
realized right now this is also the plot of season 4 of The Boys. Like The Boys gets a lot of
Dude,
like literally it's someone behind Homelander that's actually pulling the strings on fucking everything.
yeah,
Uh, okay.
and yet they don't get
Yes,
it.
and then he fires them, and then he's like, "Oh wait, I actually need them."
Yeah. And
uh,
then, people, right-wing people that love the boys have no idea that they're being talked about and made fun of.
yeah,
And
I just realized
well,
that parallel is literally what's happening right
yeah,
now.
and I'm so interested in what's going to happen in the last season of the boys, because I got to see what they do to make fun of this fucking
Yeah,
term.
yeah,
Um,
they're probably
but
rewriting stuff as we speak. But
yeah, it's just also so fucking crazy that the one of the authors of Project 2025 and one of the leaders in the Heritage Foundation that wrote it, um, his last name is literally Vought.
that's right. I
Like,
forgot about that.
what is that? And it's just it's scary and it's stupid, and I really wish it wasn't happening right now. Um, but it's also, you have to laugh at things to help a little bit, and it's been just having Elon Musk's and Grimes's kid in the Oval Office, picking his nose, rubbing it on the desk, and telling Trump to shut the fuck up and that he's not the president anymore, um, is kind of funny. And
Yeah,
but yeah, I also saw that Grimes was like, getting upset with Elon toting their child in the Oval Office like a accessory. Um,
yeah.
which, why does he have so much fucking custody over that kid? I don't know. Uh,
So you can pay for it,
I guess so.
probably.
But yeah, I mean, that's all the political news and news in general that I have written down here.
Yeah,
But
I don't got anything. Um,
All right, so expedition time, I guess.
yeah, unfortunately, I think it is kind of close to it. We can do,
Oh,
we can do the song of the week and meet our quota for time and stuff like that. So,
damn.
stay tuned
Maybe
next
next.
year. Yeah, maybe next year. Um, but you know, doggy S tier. But anyways, um, I am up for song of the week, and I didn't think about what I want to do. So I am going to think about it out loud.
Yeah.
And you know what? Didn't get a chance to highlight this in the last couple of weeks, so I think it's what I'm going to go for. I'm going to go with Funny Papers by Mac Miller.
Cool.
He's in no rush. If I could just pay my rent by Tuesday, I bet I'd be rich by April Fool's Day.
All right, that was Funny Papers by Mac Miller. What'd you think of that, Colin?
It was a great song. I've yet to return to Balloonerism, but I do remember that being one of the ones that I very much enjoyed, and this solidified that. I liked. It was very low key and more akin to like what the Mac stuff that I've enjoyed and that I've actually really listened to has been more like, and I feel like that helps my enjoyment a little bit. Um, but I really like the ending with the piano, very sweet and just low key. It's a great low key Mac track.
Yeah,
But I do have to revisit that album still.
yeah. I mean, I feel pretty similarly. It's just like, it definitely has like the vibes of Circles to me, which I like a lot. And it's cool seeing that, like, I guess an early version of that kind of sound here. And I think it's done really well. You know, like a lot of the lyrical content. I like the vibe as well. Very low key and chill, but also just really sweet and jazzy. Piano's nice throughout. And I do love how it ends on just an instrumental, just kind of going through a bunch of different little changes. Drums are really nice, and the bass as well, of course. Uh, yeah, I don't know. It's just a great track that's been sticking with me from that project, and I didn't get a chance to highlight it when it came out for some reason. I don't remember why, but yeah, cool. What'd you got?
I listened to those two records this week, and I think that I want to highlight a little bit more Dochi. So I'm
All
going to
right.
go with Boiled Peanuts by Dochi.
Okay.
This my legacy. It's a sunny day. The gang's all here.
All right, that was not spoiled, Boiled Peanuts by Dochi. What do you think, Mike?
I thought that's great. I think that's a great track. I really love the vibe of that one. The chorus just super unique and very dochi, and I like that about it. Another one that is great from that Tiny Desk set as well. And her flow was really great on it. I love the storytelling. It's just a great track. And I got curious when I added that to the playlist and I checked, and that's now the second shortest song in the Broken Boys Songs of the Week playlist. Um, beaten
What's the
only,
short?
yeah, beaten only by a song that I chose from Death Cab for Cutie called "You Can Do Better Than Me," which is 3 seconds
Oh,
shorter. But yeah, fun facts.
well, it is fun fact. But it is short, sweet, and to the point, and the vibe on it is very very cool, artsy. I love that saxophone little.
Yeah, it lives up to the swampiness that she's going for on that
Yeah,
album.
so true. Um, and it's a great track. I really like that one, and it's right before the big one, so it's like you get two great tracks one after another, and it's just the whole album is a good track after another. So
Yeah,
I do recommend going and listening to that Grammy winning album
yeah,
there. Um, but yeah, I like that track a lot.
absolutely. That's a great pick.
Mhm.
Alrighty. Well, unless you got anything else to add, we can probably move on to wrap up, move on.
Yeah, I mean, I think I saw it while we were listening, but um, they're still going forward with filming Euphoria season 3, which is surprising.
What was
And
going on there? Like,
well,
why was it not going to
it's been
happen?
well at first the one of the characters Fez, who's played by Angus Cloud. Angus Cloud passed away like a
Mm,
year or two ago. Um, and it's also just been a very, very slow rollout and very, very slow kind of production everything because people are dropping out. Not everyone wants to be in it, and it's just been very slow. But they're starting to film soon, I think. And Zendaya is still returning, which is good because she's like, well, she is the main character and she's also the best actor in that show.
yeah.
But also, Rosalia has been cast
What the
in that
hell?
show.
Okay.
So, there's that.
Interesting.
But,
They're all
yeah.
high schoolers in that show, aren't they?
Yes. Yes.
She is 32. Okay, cool.
Well, she would fit in with all the old people
I
in
guess so.
but yeah, it was just an interesting little casting thing there. But
Yeah, cool.
yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
Uh,
All right.
yeah. Alrighty. Well, yeah. If you're listening on streaming services, thank you very much. We love you, to death. One would even say. And you can get so much more from us, by coming on over to the YouTube channel where we're under the same name, Broken Boys, capital N Bois, and there you can see our beautiful profile pictures. Mine is, Schlatt looking again, but no Batman symbol this time. I think that expired for me.
Oh.
So, rip that, I guess. And you can see Drake smiling. Or
Oh, about to go to all.
about to go to Zone. I need some. Oh, okay. Took some. You can see Kendrick smiling at Drake. Say Drake. And come see that Colin's repping the Crips, their color palette over here on his Discord.
Yeah.
His colors.
And your color is repping the people that didn't understand.
Exactly. I'm all the white people staring at the screen like, what's the hype about? But also over on YouTube, we have links to a bunch of stuff. For instance, Song of the Week playlists, that little segment we just did. We got a bunch of playlists down. Well, we got 3 playlists down there. We got one for me, we got one for Colin, and we got one for both of us combined. Every week we do a song that gets placed into that playlist, and it's very long at this point. But you can find both Funny Papers by Mac Miller and Boiled Peanuts by Doechii down in those playlists, along with a whole bunch more Mac Miller and one more Doechii in there. So go and give that a listen for a nice long road trip or something. And yeah. We also have some personal stuff down there. For me, I make music, as I briefly alluded to this episode. I am making music. Should be coming soon-ish, pretty soon-ish. And anyways, under the name Plaintive, that's down there. Spotify and Apple Music, along with whatever else you listen to music on, I am there. Go catch up on your Plaintive lore. And yeah, I also have my Instagram down there and my album of the year page where I rate and review music, a whole bunch of music. Go check out my Drake review that I'm gonna love doing on Monday. And we also have, or I also have, my YouTube down there and my TikTok, and that's about it. And in terms of my relation to you, dear viewer, I guess I can't be at the Super Bowl again because that's a little cheap. I am. Oh man. Oh man, I am. I am. I am the great I am. Which is another word for God. So I am
Okay.
God behind you, dear viewer.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm going big this week, and slightly sacrilegious, but yeah, that's me. I am the great I am, and Colin over here. He runs our socials. He runs our Twitter page where he updates when videos are posted and whatever else needs to be updated, as well as our TikTok where he posts little funny clips of us, and also the Instagram, Broken Boys Podcast Instagram. Do I call that Instagram Reels? I don't know what to. I guess just the Broken Boys Instagram account where he posts funny reels. There we go. There's the combination right there. And go check out all those. Give him some love. But he also has some personal stuff too. You can give him some love personally on these personal stuff. And he has an album of the year page where he rates and reviews music, as well as his letterbox where he rates and reviews movies, where maybe he will finish the Malcolm X movie.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah. And yeah, Colin, what's your relation to our dear viewer here?
Well, if you are here and I'm talking to you and have a podcast with you, that means that I have to believe in God, I guess.
I
So
guess, yeah. Me too.
I'm gonna have I'm gonna have a whole Christianity arc, I guess. If you are the Christian God, at least I don't know. The great I am can be any God, I suppose. But
I don't know the origin of it, but I know it's in Christianity.
All right. Well, I'm gonna have a whole Christian arc, and I'm gonna go to church and look up and see that all the portraits of God have now become you, and have your face on them, and and start to question everything about myself because, well, why the fuck have you allowed children to get cancer, Mike? I don't. Why have you allowed all these terrible things to happen? Now I have a face to look at and recognize, and I don't know if I can forgive you for all the things that you've done.
Well,
But
I'm supposed to forgive you. That's how
yeah,
this is supposed to work.
I guess it is more of. I guess it's more the other way around.
Yeah.
So
You don't get
I
that
mean,
power.
I'll go into a confessional booth and I'll I'll talk to the priest there, and he'll hear my voice and go, "Wait a second, are you from the Broken Boys podcast?" And I'm gonna go, "Yeah, actually." How did you know? I only listen on audio, and I recognize the voice from between the screen here. And we're gonna come out of our booths, and um, he's gonna be like, "Oh my god, I can't believe." Oh my goodness, I can't believe that that this is happening for real. And I'm like, well, I wouldn't be here unless that happened. And I point up, and there's your face on the portrait of God right next to your son Jesus Christ. And I didn't know you were a dad either, so that's interesting.
Yeah.
Um, but
And I'm gonna
and
say,
then
come, children.
oh my, and it'll be kind of like a Wizard of Oz sort of thing where we'll see like a curtain with 2 feet underneath, just like sitting there kicking, and kind of you're chuckling behind the screen, and we're gonna pull the curtain, and you're gonna be behind there in your full ethereal attire, and he's gonna be like, "Oh my god, oh my goodness!" I mean, it's the other, it's the other broken boy in my church. I can't believe this, and we're all gonna be like, "Yay!" And he's gonna be like, "Can I get one of those embraces?" Because I am a man of God, and I don't know what this kind of affection feels like. And we're going to say, "Of course, Father." And he's gonna get between us. I'm gonna be in front of him. You'll be behind him, and we're going to embrace and hug from in front and behind, and look at you and your godly face, Mike. And I'm going
Yes.
to I'm going to smooch you right on the godly mouth, and it's gonna be crazy. Like I can't even explain what I saw in those moments, but we're gonna kiss and smooch right next to this priest's head, and he's going to be so happy about it. And this embrace is what we like to call the love cage. And if you would like your very own love cage, dear viewer, all you must do is drop your address in the comments below, and we will find you we will find you. You won't know when, you won't know where, but we will find you and give you your very own love cage. So drop that addy and experience Mike's godliness the next time we fulfill one, I guess.
Hell yeah. I'm realizing now, instead of going into that complex, theological angle, I could have just said it's Valentine's Day and done some shit like that. But
Could have,
we live
but
and learn.
this is more entertaining. So
Yeah.
you're
More
you're
creative.
God now. You're God now, and
Canon.
we made a priest very happy. So
Yeah.
Drop that addy, get your very own love cage, and we'll talk to you again next week. So
Yeah. Okay.
see ya.
Bye bye.
Bye.